Marley was dead, to begin with. There is no doubt that Marley was dead. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come out of the story I am going to relate. I knew he was dead? Of course I did. I was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and sole mourner. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Marley and Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle Bob. God save you.
Bah humbug.
Christmas a humbug? Uncle, Christmas, you can't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Bah, I heard that. Humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What's Christmas but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer? A time for balancing your books and...
Uncle, please.
If I could have my way, every idiot who goes on with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. What do you think of that?
Uncle.
Nephew, keep Christmas in your way and let me keep it in mine. Another sound out of you and you can keep Christmas by losing your situation of employment.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow. I want nothing from you. Why can't we be friends? Family, even. Well, I am sorry to find you so resolute, but I have made the trial an homage to my mother, and to Christmas. And I intend to keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, Merry Christmas, Uncle.
There's another fellow, my clerk, Bob Cratchit, with 15 shillings a week, and a wife and family, talking about a Merry Christmas.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge?
Or Mr. Marley.
Mr. Marley's been dead for these 7 years. He died 7 years ago, this very night, in fact.
Well, I have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
Oh, don't you?
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, is it? It is more than usually desirable that one should make some provisions for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at this present time. Many thousand are in want of common comfort, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Why, plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are.
Still, I wish I could say they were not.
Ah, thank heavens. From what you said, I thought something had come along to stop them in their useful course. I'm very glad to hear it.
Well, you see, sir, under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer of the mind and body to the multitude, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drinks and means of warmth. We choose this time because it is the time of all others when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices.
What shall we put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous.
I wish to be left alone. Since you ask what I wish, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help pay for the establishments that I've mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
Oh, would they? Well, if they'd rather die, they'd better do it, and decrease the surplus population. Good afternoon. You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
Well, it's not convenient.
I know, sir.
And it's not fair.
I understand, sir.
If I were to take the day's wages, you'd think yourself ill-used. Yet, you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's just once a year, sir. It's just once a year.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But very well. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas.
Bah, humbug.
Darkness is cheap, and I liked it. But before I shut the heavy door, I walked through my rooms to see that all was right. Sitting room, bedroom, lumber room, all as they should be. Nobody under the table, nobody under the sofa. Quite satisfied, I closed my door and locked myself in. Double locked myself in.
Humbug. It's humbug still. I won't believe it. How now? What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
You're particular for a shade. Well, who are you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You don't believe in me.
I do not.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You might be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. Mercy! Dreadful apparition! Why do you trouble me? Why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit does not do so in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth, and turned to happiness.
You're fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chains I forged in life. I made them link by link. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our counting house. Mark me! In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole, and weary journeys lie before me.
7 years dead and traveling all the time? You might have got over a great quantity of ground in 7 years.
At this time of the rolling year, I suffer the most. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down and never raise them once to see their eyes, their need, or a bright star to conduct me to their aid? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, benevolence, all were my business. Hear me, my time is nearly gone.
I will. But don't be so hard upon me. Don't be flowery, Jacob. Please.
I have sat invisible beside you many and many a day. I have seen you and the chain you forge yourself, link by link. I am here tonight to warn you that you may have a chance and hope of escaping my fate, a chance and a hope of my procuring Ebenezer. You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to escape the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour, and the third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and look that for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us.
When I awoke, it was so dark that looking out of bed, I could scarcely distinguish the transparent windows from the opaque walls of my chamber. When I remembered all of a sudden that the ghost had warned me of a visitation when the bell tolled 1, I resolved to lie awake until the hour was past.
Quarter past. Half past. A quarter to it. The hour itself. And nothing else.
The curtains of my bed were drawn aside, I tell you, by hand, and I found myself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
Your past.
May I be so bold as to inquire what business brings you here?
Business? My business is your welfare.
Well, a night of unbroken rest would have been more conducive to my welfare.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
Clad only in slippers and a dressing gown, mind you, I am a mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand there, and you shall be upheld in more than this.
Good heavens. I believe I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Strange, to have forgotten it for so many years. These are but shadows of things that have already been. They have no consciousness of us. But look, the school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, left there still. What were you reading, alone on Christmas?
I wish but it's too late now.
What is the matter?
Nothing. It's just... There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given him something. That's all.
Someone is coming.
Dear brother, I have come to bring you home, dear brother, to bring you home, home.
Home, little fan?
Yes, home for good and all, home forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. He spoke so gently to me one dear night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him once more if he might come home. And he said, yes, you should, and sent me in a coach to bring you. You are to be a man and never come back here. But first, we are meant to be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in the world.
You're quite a woman, little fan.
Always a delicate creature whom a breath may have withered, but she had a large heart.
That she did, Spirit. I won't gainsay it, God forbid.
She died a woman and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True, your nephew. What is his name?
Yes. Fred.
Yo-ho, my boys! No more work tonight! Christmas!
Christmas Eve, Ebenezer! Christmas!
We'll have the shutters up before a man can say Jack Robinson!
Hilliard Ho! Cheer up!
There you are, Ebenezer. I've been looking for you all night. I must introduce you to my niece. I'm sure you've seen her about. Ebenezer, this is Belle.
A small matter, to make those silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
No, it isn't that. It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. The happiness he brings is quite as great as if it cost a fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing particular, nothing. I'd like to say a word or two to my clerk just now. That's all.
My time grows short. Quick, once more.
It matters little to you. Very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to do, I have no just cause to grieve it.
What? What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing on which it is so hard as poverty, and nothing it professes to condemn more than that of the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. All of your hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its sordid reproach. I've seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion, gain, engrosses you. Have I not?
Even if I have grown so much wiser, I'm not changed towards you.
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until in good season we could improve our worldly fortune. You are changed. when it was made, you were a different man.
I was a boy.
Your feelings tells you that you are not what you are. I am. That which promised happiness when we were one in heart is now fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I have thought of this, I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it and can release you.
Did I ever seek release?
In words, no.
In what then?
In a changed nature. In an altered spirit. Another atmosphere of life. Another hope at its great end. In everything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight? If this had not been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? I think not.
How could you not think so?
I would gladly think otherwise if I could, heaven knows. But when I have learned a truth like this, I know how strong and irresistible it must be. Can I believe that you would choose a dowerless girl? You, who in your very confidence with her, whether everything would gain? Or choosing her, if for a moment you were false enough in your one guiding principle to do so? Do I not know that your repentance and regret would surely follow? I do, and can release you with a heavy heart for the love of the man you once were. May you be happy with the life you have chosen, Ebenezer.
Spirit, take me back. Why do you delight to torture me?
I told you, these are the shadows of things that have already been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Take me back. I cannot bear it. Haunt me no longer.
The clock itself was more alarming than a dozen ghosts, as I was powerless to make out what it meant. At last, I began to think that the source and secret of this fiery light might be in the adjoining room. The moment my hand was on the lock, a strange voice called me by name and bade me enter. I obeyed.
Come in. Come in and know me better, man.
I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the likes of me before.
Never. Spirit, conduct me where you will. I went out last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson which is working now. If you wish to teach me, let me profit by it.
Ah, yes, profit. Touch my robe.
Why, bless your heart alive, Martha, how late you were this evening. And with your father trailing behind, of course.
We're sorry, Mother, but we're here now.
What's the rush, Mother? Maybe if Belinda hadn't taken so long at the market.
Peter Cratchit, I did not.
Belinda, just let him go on. You know he's only trying to tease you.
How did little Tim behave?
As good as gold and better. He goes about thoughtful, thinking all by himself, and he thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me that he hoped the people at the church saw him because he was a cripple, and that it might be a pleasure for them to remember who upon this very Christmas day made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Mother's pudding.
A Christmas delicacy.
Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No. Oh no, please, kind spirits, say the boy will be spared.
Why, what now? As I believe you're known to have said, if he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
I'd like to propose a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast on, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
That's right, Mother.
Peter, be kind.
My dear, the children. Christmas.
Odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man, Mr. Scrooge.
Mary.
Mother, Christmas!
I'll drink to his health for your sake and for the day's. Not for his. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
I was the ogre of the family. The mention of my name cast a dark shadow on the party. But after it passed, they were 10 times merrier than before.
Spirit, take me from this place. I can't bear it any longer.
Come.
He said Christmas a humbug. As I live, he believed it too.
More shame for him, my dear.
He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth. Not so pleasant as he may be, but his offenses carry their own punishments. I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you've always told me so.
What of that? His wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't the slightest satisfaction of thinking that he is ever going to benefit any of us with it.
I have no patience with him at all, my dear.
Oh, I have. I am sorry for him. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. Here, he takes it into his head to dislike us. And he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? He doesn't lose much of a dinner.
Fred! Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. The consequence of his taking a disliking to us.
And not making merry with us.
The consequence is, as I think, that he misses out on some pleasant moments, which could do him no harm. Whether he likes it or not, I pity him. May he rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. I defy him. If he finds me going there in good temper year after year and saying, "Uncle Scrooge, how are you?" If it only puts him in the vein to give his poor clerk £50, that's something. And I think I shook him yesterday.
Indeed, I'm sure you shook him. Now, Fred, won't you do your Uncle Scrooge impression? Won't you? Won't you?
Are spirits' lives short?
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight, at midnight. Hark! The time is drawing near.
Forgive me if I'm not justified in what I ask, but I see something strange and not belonging to yourself protruding from your skirts. Is it a foot or a claw?
Maybe a claw, for there is flesh upon it. Look here.
Spirit, are they yours?
They are man's, and they cling to me, appealing from their fathers. This boy is ignorance. This girl is want. Beware them both in all of their degree. But most of all, beware this boy. On his brow is written doom, unless the writing is erased.
Have they no refuge or resources?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me things that have not yet happened, but will in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I've seen, but as I know your purpose is to do me good, and I hope to be another man from what I was, I am prepared to bear your company, and do so with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? Lead on. Lead on, Spirit. The night is waning fast, and it's precious time to me, I know. Lead on, Spirit.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Old Scratch got his own at last, huh? What was the matter with him?
God knows. I thought he'd never die.
What has he done with the money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps? He hasn't left it to me. That's all I know.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral for, upon my own life, I don't know anybody to go to it.
Suppose we make up a party and volunteer?
I don't mind going if lunch is provided, but if I must go, I must be fed.
Come to think of it, I'm sure we were good friends, because occasionally, he didn't cheat me in business.
What odds then? What odds, Mrs. Dilber? Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so.
Why then, don't stand staring as if you were afraid, woman. We're not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed. We should hope not.
Very well then, that's enough. Who's the worse for the loss of a few things like these?
Not a dead man, I suppose.
If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, wicked old screw, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying, gasping out his last there, alone by himself.
It's the truest words that was ever spoke. It's a judgment on him.
I wish it was a little heavier judgment, and it should have been, you may depend upon it, if I could have laid my hands on anything else.
Open that bundle, old Joe, and let me know the value of it.
We knew pretty well that we were helping ourselves before we met here, I believe. It's no sin.
Open the bundle, Joe.
Now, what do you call these? Bed curtains?
Ah, bed curtains.
You don't mean to say you took him down, rings and all, with him lying there?
Yes, I do. Why not?
You were born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it.
I certainly shan't hold my hand when I can get anything in it by reaching it out. For the sake of such a man as he was, I promise you that, Joe.
Hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh?
Oh, don't you be afraid of that. I ain't so fond of his company that I'd loiter about him for such things if he did. Ah! You can look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole nor a threadbare place. It was the best he had, and a fine one too. They would have wasted it if it weren't there for me.
What do you call wasting of it?
Putting it on him to be buried, to be sure. Somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it back off again. If burlap ain't good enough for such a purpose, it ain't good enough for anything. Besides, it's quite as becoming to the body. He can't look any uglier than he did in that one.
Spirit, I see. The case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life tends that way now. Merciful heavens. Spirit, this is a fearful place. In leaving it, I shall not leave its lesson. Trust me. Let us go. Let me see some some tenderness connected with death, or this dark chamber will forever be present to me.
He'll be alone soon, Mother.
I think he's walked a little slower than he used to these last few evenings, Mother.
Yes.
I have known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder. Very fast indeed.
And so have I, often.
And so have I.
But he was very light to carry. And his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble.
He was never any trouble, Mother.
It's all right, Belinda.
And there's your father at the door. You went today then, Robert?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him that I would walk there on a Sunday. My little child. I know, my dears, that when we recollect how mild and patient he was, although he was a child, we won't quarrel easily among ourselves and forget Tiny Tim in doing so.
No, Father, never.
Never, Father. No, Father.
I am very happy. I am very happy.
Spectre! Something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Who was lying there in that coffin? Whose were those wretched bed curtains? Tell me, spirit! Before I open this coffin to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are they the shadows of the things that may be only? Men's courses will foreshadow their ends, to which, if persevered, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, then the ends may change. Say it is thus with what you've shown me. Good Spirit, your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Assure me that I yet may change these shadows you've shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future yet to come. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, say that I may yet sponge the sins of my life away. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. Oh, cold, cold, rigid, dreadful death, please! The past, the present, and the future. The past, the present, and the future. They're not torn down. They're not torn down. Rings and all. I am here. The shadows of what could have been may have been dispelled. They will be. I know they will be. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. A Merry Christmas to everybody! And a Happy New Year to all the world! I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. Boy, what's today?
Huh?
What's today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello.
Do you know the poulterers in the next street but one, at the corner?
I should hope I did.
Do you know whether they've sold that big prize turkey? The one they hung in the window there?
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it, so that I may tell them the direction of where to take it. Come back with the man, and I shall give you a shilling. Come back in less than 5, and I'll give you half a crown. I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. He shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim.
Mr. Scrooge?
How do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you both. A Merry Christmas to you.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name. And I fear it may not be pleasant with you. I've come to offer you my condolences, and would you have the kindness to... Would you have the kindness to take this check, and my apologies to you both.
Oh, Lord bless me!
My dear Mrs. Scrooge, are you serious?
Oh, please, not a farthing less. A great many back payments included in it, I assure you. Would you do me that favor?
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such...
Please, don't say anything else. Come and see me. Would you come and see me?
Of course, we will.
Thank you. I am much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you. Fred!
Bless my soul. Who's that?
It is I, your Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge, of course.
My dear boy, I would like nothing more than to come join you for dinner. I've come to offer you my apologies. You have to know, I loved your mother so much, my little fan. When she left me, you remind me so much of her. And I'm sorry. Would you please forgive me?
Uncle, you are forgiven. And Mother would be so happy to see this day. Won't you finally accept my invitation and come to dinner?
My boy, I will. But I have one last stop to make. Is your master home, my dear?
Yes, sir. He's in the dining room, sir.
Thank you, my dear. I'll go in here.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas, my good fellow, than I've given you for many a year. Here, I've brought you a Christmas turkey. Come on now, boy.
My father, what a feast it will be. Is it really for us?
That's right, my dear. It's for all of you. Bob, you'll have the best Christmas dinner you've ever seen.
Mr. Scrooge, you really didn't need to.
And another thing.
Yes, sir?
I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family. And we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon, and over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop at that, Bob.
Why, Mr. Scrooge, Smoking bishop?
Why, Mr. Scrooge, we really don't know what to say.
Why? Say Merry Christmas, of course.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's right, Tim. A Merry Christmas. And may God bless you. All of you.
God bless us, everyone.
Season's greetings. We're so happy to bring you this story on the small screen, but we can't wait to see you live and in person and in the theater soon.
Happy holidays!
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays!
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy holidays!
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Bah humbug.